What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday early afternoon so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm going to talk about what the Brooklyn Nets should do, not what they need to do. Well, actually, know what they need to do as well, but what they should do going into Game 3 of their first round Eastern Conference series against the Philadelphia 76ers on Thursday at Barclays Center. Yesterday should have been a wake-up call. The first two games should have been a wake-up call, but yesterday should have been especially a wake-up call to Jacque Vaughn and to this Brooklyn Nets coaching staff that something needs to change. Something needs to change. Whether it's the combination of the fact that you're getting absolutely zero production from your bench right now, whether it's the combination of you're getting zero production right now from your center, who has been one of the best young centers in the NBA, but let's just be real, he's not been doing anything right now so far in this series. Also, your point guard is turning the ball over like crazy and he's not creating his own shot as well as he did towards the end of the season. And the fact of the matter is, the Sixers are now key on trying to stop Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, and right now the Nets are not helping out either one of these guys, and it has a lot to do with the lack of production you're getting from the bench. I've talked about this numerous times going down the stretch of this NBA season. It's time for Jacque Vaughn to think about switching up this lineup. It's time for Jacque Vaughn to talk about and think about switching up this lineup and getting himself some more players involved in this team. He went with an 8-man rotation last night where the only guys he had coming off the bench in this game was Joe Harris, Royce O'Neal, and Seth Curry, who combined for 15 total points in that game, and that's 0 points from Seth Curry, and from Joe Harris. And multiple people have started to say this. What was the biggest problem with the Nets last night? It wasn't their defense because they held Philadelphia to 96 points, albeit Philadelphia did not have a great night shooting, but the Nets held them to 96 points nonetheless. James Harden only had 8 points last night on bad shooting night. But what was the biggest issue with the Nets? They couldn't score. They couldn't shoot. They couldn't get anything going offensively. What's one of the biggest things the Nets have on their bench that they refuse to play for some reason? Number 24, Cam Thomas. This isn't just going to be a Cam Thomas has got to play. He's got to go out there and play. All that stuff. Thomas should be playing at this point because you're getting zero production from Joe Harris, who at this point, I love Joe Harris. I'm thanking him for everything he's done with this Nets team for the better part of 6 or 7 years. But Joe Harris right now is giving you virtually nothing. He can't play defense. His shot is not falling. He's giving you nothing offensively. Joe Harris needs to sit. I get it. They're trying to give respect to their veterans on this team. But Harris has been virtually a no-show. Seth Curry, he comes and goes. There's some games where he plays great, and then there's some games where he doesn't do anything. Case in point last night, he had 9 early points and then he did nothing in the rest of the game. Royce O'Neal has been a disaster so far shooting the basketball, but he should play because he's great defensively, and when he finally gets a shot to fall, he's the best player coming off that bench right now consistently. But why not try to dust off some players on this bench, like a Cam Thomas? Why did RonSharpe not play last night? He had some minutes in the first game, and he actually didn't do that bad. Why is he not playing? You need size. The Nets tried to go small last night. For the first half, it worked because they were knocking down their shots. When those shots weren't falling, they got absolutely bullied on the boards by both PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris, and especially Joel Embiid. Why not put in RonSharpe and add some more size? Why not play Cam Thomas? Why does it hurt? You're getting zero production from your bench right now. Why don't you try Cam Thomas? Why don't you play Edmond Sumner? Sumner, when he plays, he knows how to score. Why don't you even try Yuta Watanabe? It might just be me throwing darts at the dartboard just to see if something might stick, because at this point, you're down 0-2, you're going home, and why not try something different to see if you might get different results going into Game 3? Because right now, what you're doing, it's not working. Your bench is an albatross right now that is not giving you any production. What else do you need to see to realize your bench is not giving you any production? I mean, it's like clear as day. How much longer? And I get it. He's giving Jacque Vaughn. I like what Jacque Vaughn has done with this team, but he has not had a good series coaching so far. He has not. Some of the coaching moves that he's made so far have been very, very, very questionable. And a lot of it has to do with him being too loyal to some of these veteran players on these teams and not giving other guys opportunities. When you look at what happened last night and you see some of the young Philadelphia 76ers players like Jalen McDaniels as well as Paul Reed that are going out there and making big shots. Nets should be trying to do the same thing. Give RonSharpe a little bit of time. Get Cam Thomas out there and see what he could do. Play Edmond Sumner. See what he can bring to the table. Try something different because what you're doing right now, it's not working. It's not working. How much more times can you throw Joe Harris out there to give you no defense? And let's just be honest, Harris looks shot. Joe Harris, I don't know if that ankle injury he suffered last year just zapped whatever little explosiveness he had left in his shot, but he's not the same player. Because Harris used to be a guy that could consistently put up at least 15 points, 12 to 15 points per game. He can't even give you 10 now. He'll occasionally go for about 15 or 18, but Harris can't even score anymore. Seth Curry, I like Seth Curry. I do. I think when he's got his three-point shot is working, he can knock it down. He made some nice shots yesterday, but he's so wildly inconsistent. And Curry is just like Harris. If his shot is not falling, he can't do anything on the court. And I'm tired of hearing fans just like, Harris has sucked and he should not be playing. But it's Curry too. People are giving Seth Curry a pass, and like everybody's bashing Joe Harris, Seth Curry's the same player. And I mean, Royce O'Neal. I have been one of publicly people that have been praising Royce O'Neal and the job that he's been doing with this Brooklyn Nets team, but he has not been good offensively. He's not knocking down his shot. He's not. The Nets need Royce O'Neal to give him some production off the bench, and he's not giving it right now. And I didn't even talk about Dorian Finney-Smith yet. Finney-Smith was making his shot in the first quarter. He got up to 8 early points in that game yesterday. And then he did nothing. It's like he disappeared. It's like the Nets forgot that Dorian Finney-Smith exists on the roster. Didn't go to him offensively. He was making some boneheaded plays. And nothing happened. And let's just be honest. We already know about the biggest issue with the Nets. They can't rebound. I mean, I already made that obvious as well as other Nets fans. They can't rebound. They got out-rebounded by 23 last night to the Philadelphia 76ers. This team just doesn't have the personnel to be able to deal with bigger teams like the Philadelphia 76ers. They don't have the personnel. Claxton is their best low-post presence, and let's just be honest, this has been the worst stretch of Claxton's season so far. He has been a non-factor for the Brooklyn Nets, and that's a problem. That is one of the biggest reasons why this Nets team has not been able to compete with the Sixers so far, is because Nicholas Claxton has been invisible, Spencer Dinwiddie has been invisible, the bench has been invisible, and Dorian Finney-Smith has been invisible. It's besides Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, that let's just be real, both of them had great first halves. Bridges in game 1, Johnson in game 2, and then they both were taken out of the game because of the fact that the Sixers made sure they didn't allow those two guys to explode in the second half, and they brought more double teams against each one of them. And they're getting no help in production from anybody else. I've been one of the biggest proponents for Royce O'Neal, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Nicholas Claxton. And let's just be real, all three of them have been major disappointments so far in this series. All three. All of them have been major disappointments. Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges have been the only ones that have showed up so far this series. Nobody else on this Nets team has showed up. And maybe it's time to start tweaking that lineup a little bit and adding some other players in there to see what they can bring to the table. You never know. Cam Thomas is one of those types of players, like what Maxey did last night, where he lit it up for 33 points. And Tobias Harris, he's one of my X factors. I said Maxey and Harris would be two of the X factors for the Sixers, and guess what? That's exactly what they've been. Harris has had 2 20-point games so far in this series, and Maxey had the biggest game last night going for 33, and he played pretty decently in game 1, though he didn't have to be as big of a factor because Harris, Harden, and Embiid were bigger players in that first game. The Nets are not getting consistent production. I said Cam Johnson was an X factor. He's played well. For game 1, he played solid. Game 2, he was great. Dorian Finney-Smith has not been great. Royce O'Neal has not been great. The Nets need help. They have to help out Johnson and Bridges. And if that includes changing up your lineup, Jacque Vaughn, bringing in Thomas, playing Sharpe more, getting in Sumner, sitting down Harris more, changing up the lineup, do it. Because this is it. I mean, a lot of people are already saying the series is over, even after 2 games. At this point, why not go out of the box and try something different? Cam Thomas, I know he's a liability on the defensive end. We know he can't play defense. But at this point, what do you have to lose? You're down 0-2 to Philadelphia. You're going home on Thursday night. Why not try mixing up your lineup and giving the Sixers a different look? Then we know Thomas is the type of player that can light it up from the court. Why not give him a try? It doesn't hurt. Why not put out Sumner for a little bit and sit Harris? Or sit Curry? Or give Royce O'Neal less minutes? Or give Dorian Finney-Smith less minutes? Or hell, maybe step back on Dinwiddie's minutes? Why not at this point? It doesn't matter about hurting people's feelings. It's about doing what is best for the team. And right now, what Jacque Vaughn is putting out there is not working. It does not hurt to change up this lineup and stop going with just the veterans because you want to make everybody happy. It's about winning. And if players out there are not performing on the court, you don't have to just make them happy by playing them and just hoping they get out of their funks. No, you change up the lineup, give this Sixers team a different look, and see if you can get different results going into Game 3. Because if I have to go into Game 3 on Thursday night at Barclays Center and see the same 8 players and see Finney-Smith give them nothing, see Royce O'Neal giving them nothing, Curry and Harris doing nothing, Claxton being invisible, Dinwiddie turning over the ball over the place, and it be Bridges and Johnson and nobody else, I'm going to be very aggravated. And it's all going to be on Jacque Vaughn because he has the opportunity right now to change his lineup up and give this Sixers team something else to think about because Cam Thomas, while he has major deficiencies on other parts of his game, the one thing this kid can do, and one of the biggest problems with this Nets team, is he could score. And the Nets need guys that can put the ball into the bucket. And Cam Thomas can do that. RonSharpe is very good at offensive rebounding. Play him. What do you have to lose? At this point, what do you have to lose? You're already down 0-2, and people are already writing you off saying that you're going to get swept. Why not give something different? And if Joe Harris or Seth Curry, whoever has their minutes cut or doesn't play, doesn't like it, too damn bad. Because you're not going out there and producing. It's about winning. It's about doing something for your team to win. And right now, anybody on this team not named Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson should think about having their minutes cut or having other players coming in to take their spot. Plain and simple. Might sound harsh, but I don't care at this point. Because you're down 0-2, and what you've been doing so far is not working. It's time to change it up. It's time to throw out something new, or you are going to get swept again for the second year in a row. Albeit it's a different team, but still. The Nets haven't won a playoff game in almost 3 years. But maybe I'm just ranting. Because they could just go out there and have the same players go out there on the court on a Thursday night, and it could just be the same results. Maybe the Nets just need to come back home to Barclays Center, and all of a sudden these guys are going to get their offense going. Who knows? But right now, something needs to change. But you guys let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree with what I have to say. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Give a sub to NYG Jeffy T85. More news, updates, and chatter surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. You guys let me know in the comment section if you think I'm out of my damn mind. And if you think that the Nets should just keep the lineup they have right now. Or do you think that they need to tweak the lineup, add some other players in this that have been sitting on the bench, and give this Philadelphia 76ers, this team, something else to think about and something else to look at, and not just the same damn lineups that they throw out every single game that gives them nothing. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Tuesday afternoon/evening. Take it easy, and as always, let's go Brooklyn Nets. It's a Nets world, and we are all just living in it.